Yesterday is a day that will forever live in infamy in American history. January 6th, 2021, a day in other years that would have been just a boring procedural formality to count the electoral votes and certify the election. But in the weeks leading up to this day, our president, Donald Trump, has been fomenting fear, uncertainty, casting doubt on the legitimacy of this election by spreading baseless conspiracy theories, saying Republican ballots were shredded, Republican ballots were tossed into a river, Dominion is swapping out votes and flipping votes from Donald Trump to Joe Biden. There's nothing to support these claims, and yet the president, the conspiracy theorist in chief, is spreading these conspiracies himself. And so there's doubt cast on the legitimacy of Joe Biden's presidency. And to start off this day, January 6th, Donald Trump held a rally where he further cemented his belief that this election was stolen from him, that Joe Biden stole the election, and urged his supporters to fight like hell. Take a look at Donald Trump early January 6th, instigating what would later happen in the day.
And we fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors have not yet begun. My fellow Americans, for our movement, for our children, and for our beloved country, and I say this despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come. So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol, and we're going to try and give, the Democrats are hopeless. They're never voting for anything. Not even one vote. But we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help, we're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country. So let's walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I want to thank you all. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you all for being here. This is incredible. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're going to fight. We're going to fight like hell. And if we don't, we're not going to have a country anymore. And just keep in mind that these people believe him with all of their heart, hook, line, and sinker, that A, Joe Biden stole the election. This is a fraudulent election. They fully buy into that. And B, if they don't fight, if Donald Trump is not president, if he doesn't secure another term, they truly believe that we're not going to have a country anymore. And pay special attention to the language that's being used there. Fight. Fight like hell. And then go march down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol. But Donald Trump wasn't the only person that day using this violent language, fomenting this anger in his supporters. Take a look at Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, also using some of this violent language.
But if we're right, a lot of them will go to jail. So, let's have trial by combat. I'm willing to stake my reputation. The president is willing to stake his reputation.
So apparently Rudy Giuliani wants trial by combat. Donald Trump wants you to fight like hell. And they both want you to march to the Capitol to show our elected officials that this election was fraudulent, that this election was stolen, and they want you to fight for it. Fight hard, because if you don't, the country is going to collapse. There won't even be a country anymore. Well, the supporters who completely believe these baseless claims, they completely believe Donald Trump and everything he has to say, took him at his word, and they marched to the Capitol. They brought that rally to the Capitol. And take a look at what happened when they brought that rally to the Capitol, when they brought this movement to fight against this fraudulent election to the Capitol.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go. And they just breached the Capitol again.
So do you see what just happened? The police, who are supposed to be securing the Capitol, just let this mob in. They opened the gates for them, and this mob swarmed the Capitol grounds. Isn't that insane? Isn't that crazy? They just let them in. They just let them waltz in. And so when they got on the Capitol grounds, they didn't stop there. They took news people's equipments and they started destroying it. Look at this. Take a look at this destruction of property. So there they are, destroying property that isn't theirs. From what I understand, the right is supposed to be the group that cares about protection of property, but there they are destroying someone else's property. I believe they also made some of the wires into a noose, so that was great. But they didn't stop there. Once they were on the Capitol grounds, they actually stormed the Capitol buildings. They went inside the Capitol buildings. They broke the windows, they climbed inside, and they went inside the buildings. Take a look at them entering the buildings and what they did when they were inside of the buildings. And so as you can see, this pro-Trump mob of people breaking down windows, entering the Capitol, storming the Capitol, and I don't even think that you can call them protesters anymore, because they're not. They're not protesting anything. At this point, they're destroying and using violence in order to attain their political objectives, which some people have described as terrorism. You can make the argument that these people are domestic terrorists, using threats, using violence in order to maintain 4 more years of Donald Trump. I was also under the impression that Republicans were supposed to be the law and order types, respect the authority of police officers. When they tell you to do something, you do it. But here they are blatantly ignoring this police officer's commands to get out, to go away. They're actually chasing him down. And they're doing so in an attempt to find Congress. They are looking for Congress. They want to strike fear in Congress. And so take a look at what Congress is doing at this very moment while this mob of people, these domestic terrorists, are looking for them. This is Congress.
They broke the glass. Everybody stay down. Get down. Oh my God, they got fire on them.
Isn't that a powerful video? There you have Congress members who are told to duck under their seats because they're in fear of their lives. They don't know what's going to happen because this mob is looking for them. This mob is trying to find them so they can overturn a democratically decided election based off of nothing, based off of conspiracy theories. You even have one Congress member in that video praying. These people are afraid. And this mob, who knows what they're going to do? Are they armed? Are they not armed? And this wasn't the only thing that they did when they were in the video. Here you have another mobster carrying around a Confederate flag in the Capitol. This is the first time that this has ever been done. The first time. Walking around the Capitol with a Confederate flag. A flag signifying losers. So it's very apt that these Trumpsters are also carrying around the flag. But just think of the message that this sends. Just think of the message. These Trumpsters walking around with Confederate flags. There are also Trumpsters who hung literal white supremacist symbols. There's a lot of overlap between Trump supporters and white supremacists and Nazis. But it's unbelievable, the fact that it's come to this. This is unbelievable. And in an attempt to get these people out, finally, after hours and hours and hours, the police finally tried to push them out. I believe they had enough numbers. Here's this pro-Trump mob fighting with the police because the police finally had the numbers to tell them to go. And so there, once again, you have these big hypocrites, these Trump supporters, who are the Back the Blue crowd, the Blue Lives Matter type, actively fighting against the police. And it really is a wonder how they were able to even get into the Capitol. I mean, when you look at this past summer, here is the response to when Black Lives Matter was marching, back when those protests were happening. Here's the police response at the Lincoln Memorial. How is it when every other budget dwarves in comparison to what the police have, the militarized police, they were able to storm the Capitol? How does that happen? How does that happen? It's still to be determined. I'm sure there will be investigations into this and why the police are just letting this mob into the Capitol, why they're opening the gates up for them. But for now, who knows why it's happening? The police can't stop them. Maybe if we defer to our president, the president of the United States, maybe you can stop them, President Donald Trump. There were people pleading for Donald Trump to put out a message. People were saying all he has to do is put out one tweet and tell them to stop and they'll go home. Let's take a look at President Donald Trump's response to this after watching some of this go down throughout the day.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
Go home. We love you. You're special. These are direct quotes from the President of the United States. And this is right after these insurrectionists, these seditionists, these treasonists have stormed the Capitol and have struck fear into Congress's hearts. We love you. You're special. And the irony in his reinforcing the very idea that's agitating this crowd in the first place. He says this is a fraudulent election. This election was stolen from me. But that's the very thing that's causing them to do this in the first place. So do you think that this message where you're telling them to go home is going to work when you're also telling them that the very thing that they're fighting for is still a thing? Yes, this election was still stolen from me. Yes, this is a fraudulent election. This guy has destroyed our country beyond repair. The republic's on the brink of collapse. And he's just sitting back and watching. He's just sitting back and watching. This guy needs to be removed from power either through the 25th Amendment or through impeachment. All I know is I don't want this guy having the nuclear codes for any more days. No. No, thank you. No, thank you. It's no surprise that the person who says stand back and stand by and then has white supremacists, Nazis, seditionists, treasonists storming the Capitol building. It's no surprise. But this whole event just highlighted the hypocrisy of Republicans. Donald Trump, when the looting starts, the shooting starts, here you have people destroying property. Here you have a person stealing some sort of podium from the Capitol. You have these people sitting in Nancy Pelosi's office, feet up on the desk, lounging like it's their home. And what happened? They were able to just leave. They walked away like nothing happened. They were taking selfies with the police. Take a look at this.
Yeah! We stopped the mob! Yeah! We stopped the mob! They left! We did it! Yeah!
Don't kill any more people while you're in there.
Hey, if we come back, we're not going to be like this. Next time we come back, we're going to be hard. I'm 75! You don't appreciate this day.
See? Nobody. All
Spirit, that's on your heart. Do not lose it. Hold your breath. Stand and fight.
I think this just all reveals how massively broken our country is. Two qualitatively different responses to protests. You have Black Lives Matter peacefully walking, peacefully marching. Tear gas, pepper spray, pepper bullets, rubber bullets. People have lost eyes. People have died. And then when it comes to pro-Trump mobsters, pro-Trump thugs, here, come on in, walk through the pearly gates, take whatever it is that you want. And then the hypocrisy of it all. These back the blue, blue lives matter. Only when it's convenient. Only when it's convenient. So I'm worried for the direction that this country is heading. I'm worried about it. Because these pro-Trump, QAnon, Nazis, white supremacists aren't just going away January 20th, if we could even make it that far. I'm sure their faces will rear themselves on January 20th on the inauguration day, and they'll be here long after that. So I think our country needs some sort of, they call it a come to Jesus moment, some sort of awakening to say, this isn't right. This is not okay. These people need to be deprogrammed. They're brainwashed. It's a cult. They believe every last word that Donald Trump says. Because if we don't deal with this problem, there's going to be more events just like this. I can promise you that one. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Agree or disagree, let's have a conversation. And subscribe to join the political revolution against mainstream media. CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, they're all bought and paid for. Independent progressive media is the path forward. Hit that bell notification to let you know when I'm uploading. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.